Challenge. Can I make a craft quality French press coffee as quick as a K-cup? Most how-to craft coffee videos feature all sorts of added nerdy details created by mavens like James Hoffman and Scott Rao. I admire their imaginations as much as anyone, but that's just it. So much of what they suggest seems like placebo effects, like the cherry on an ice cream sundae. I get its role as an adornment, but it makes it impossible as an efficient use of time. Sometimes we just want a great cup of coffee, one that's complex as a flavor bomb, but done as a simple beverage. So, continue watching the shaman's versions of craft brewings, complete with ancient whisperings and dance rituals that might or might not really affect the taste. Here's my recipe. Start with any press. This one's a Simpli Press. You can use a Bodum, which brews identically, except the Bodum breaks so easily, and I think you're better off economically buying the better glass. And of course, they all have their little things. I want to point out the one thing I like about the Simpli Press, it's got 2 filters. And the idea is, I think, to reduce, and it's an attempt to reduce the grounds ending up in your brew. At this point, it seems every online coffee expert tells you to run some hot water into it to ensure a high enough brewing temperature. Well, the press does cool easily. Glass cools faster than plastic, but glass is better because it can be cleansed of any accumulated oils, tastes, or past brewing aromas. But I'm going to suggest that you just skip that step. Simply use boiling water and take advantage of the glass's ability to almost instantly cool to the proper brewing temperature. Begin by shoveling 30 grams of coarse grounds into your press's bottom. Okay, I'm going to just, there we go. I'm going to suggest, by the way, you err on coarse so it won't risk the plunger sticking as you press down. Now, you can inch your grind a little finer each time if you want a stronger coffee. Some experts will tell you to grind coarse to prevent grounds in your cup. But as I already said, I find this happens regardless of grind with any screen filter brewing method. And even dual screens, there's going to be some sediment in a French press. Now, place the press on a scale like I did and zero it out. The reason you do that is you want to determine just how much water to put in to make the French press. And you do that by multiplying your grounds weight by 15. It's real simple. I put 30 grams in, so let's see. I'll want to end up with 450 grams of weighed liquid coffee. So let's pour 100 grams over the grounds and start a timer. Just enough to cover the grounds real well. There we go, there's 100. Now, let's take a spoon and stir the grounds at the bottom. Really, you want to mix the grounds and water into what will more or less be a paste. The coffee we're using, by the way, is from Two Brothers Coffee Roasters. They're right here in Warrenville. It's their seasonal White Sky blend. I was there the other day meeting with Mason Brown, Two Brothers Director of Coffee. This is a blend of 2 different Indonesians and I believe both Central and South American coffees. It's just about perfect as a French press coffee. It's full-bodied with both winey and fig notes. Now, if I can play Tune Detective for a sec, I'll credit the wininess to the South Americans and the fig note to Papua New Guinea. At about 1 minute, we pour another 100 grams into it. Okay. And again, stir. Not a lot. Let's talk about CoffeeCon's upcoming live event. The word I want you to remember is live. So much of life has become canned. When I started pondering an online CoffeeCon event, I knew I wanted it to be truly live. I've had a chance to sample other supposedly live events. Most of them are really just live playback of pre-recorded presentations. Now, CoffeeCon will be live, giving you and me live interaction with the presenter. You can post questions, your own insights to share, and questions about anything, just like at our in-person live events. Tickets are free, but you'll be able to order Ken David's tasting class coffee samples so you can taste right along with him. It's a big step up from most of the others out there. Okay, we've reached the 2-minute mark. Time to add the rest of the water for the final 2 minutes. Let's add the remaining 250 grams of water. The only number that's got to be precise is the 450 grams water. So if you go over one of these steps, it's not a big deal. Okay, we're at 450, and now we're going to stir. And this time, this is the final stir. We're going to stir just at the top, and there's a reason for that. I don't want you stirring up the grounds that have settled in the bottom. It's because if they're still floating around, a lot of them, it can get difficult to push it down. And it's everything about the press is making sure that that press can easily be pushed down. Stirring creates turbulence, and this agitation has been proven to increase extraction. Now, the best guide is to stir just enough to break up the grounds. You don't have to overstir, and you risk cooling by overstirring. I really like this wooden spoon, by the way. Simpli Press supplies it. Just make sure you rinse it thoroughly after each use. It'll last you a long time. Now, the 4-minute mark is just about to go off. And then we're going to insert the press part and gently press down. Okay. And there's no final stir. This is to reduce the chance of the filter getting stuck. It's rare, but it does happen. It can ruin a perfectly good brew. It happened to me when I was making coffee for a group of coffee industry folks at a soiree here in Chicago many years ago. Okay, the screen filter methods always leave some fines in the cup. You may find this desirable. Many people do, especially the ones who like things like unfiltered wines. Now, okay, and here we go. Now we're quickly going to pour a cup. Oh, the fig jumps out, and so does some dark chocolate notes. The press has no way to keep itself warm. It's never the hottest cup of coffee. That's part of its charm. The coffee is inherently at 150 degrees Fahrenheit or below. This is automatically safe drinking temperature. If you add cream, it's even cooler. Lower drinking temperatures are also ideal to highlight coffee's complexity, body, and spice. Ask any AeroPress user, or for that matter, a cold brew user. It's not really that fast, though, is it? Well, it's easy. It's a simple ritual, and if you're a little off in your timing, it's not going to be a disaster. I've been with press users who look at each other, and when we realize no one started the timer, and the coffee's fine. After all, after 4 minutes, the water is cooled, so the extraction is slowed, if not ended. The press is popular in the coffee business because it's closest to the cupping method used to taste and evaluate coffee samples before purchasing large lots of unroasted green beans. It's a wonderful fall method. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just my experience, but I always romanticize raking leaves and then hoisting a French press to celebrate the fall colors. CoffeeCon Live online is gearing up. You'll be able to sign up for free tickets shortly. I want to thank our sponsor, Caribe Coffee Air Roasters, whose fresh on-site coffee roasting brings freshness closer to your cup. I'm Coffee Kevin.